will join in today and be interested in the tour through the new SIPA website. So we'll wait a minute or so. It looks like, I think we're 2 minutes afterwards, actually. So maybe we'll go ahead and kick off. And then as people join in, they'll just pick up where we are. But so let's go ahead and say greetings and official kickoff time here at 2 minutes after noon Eastern time. And nice and early out on the West Coast where Holly's coming to you from as well. For those of you I have not gotten a chance to meet, my name is Jack Armstrong. I'm the Executive Director of the Structural Insulated Panel Association, or SIPA as we call it. And on the line, we have two of our other SIPA staff with us. So Holly joining from us from the West Coast there, who's our Communications Manager, and Donald Ambrose, our Facilitations Manager of all things administrative related. So Donald and I are both joining you from Florida, and Holly out in Washington State. We are going to record today's call, so in case you miss it, you'll be able to see it on replay, and then those that weren't able to join today's call can also see it on demand as they want it. We plan on posting this video onto YouTube, and then we will share a link to that, and probably with, I don't know whether it'll just be a hidden link or we'll have a password, but we'll communicate that out to everybody as well. We're thinking that we'll have about a 25-minute little chat through the website real quickly, and any Q&A and questions that anybody might have. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to tag team a little bit, so I'll kick off, and Holly will pick up on the second side to tour through different portions of the website as well. But with that in mind, I did want to just mention that we are on a joint session, and everybody will be able to ask questions live if they would like, or even in the chat. But if you aren't speaking, and you could please keep yourself on mute, that'll make sure that background noise is held to a minimum. Additionally, since we are a collaborative group of cross-industry participants, we will be conducting our call today under our SIPA Federal Antitrust Checklist guidance. And so please today, no discussion of any proprietary information, any items that should be publicly disclosed or can be considered as restraint of trade. And with that, let's get into the reason why we're all here. It's for the new website. So the new website has launched early May, and has been up and running now at about an 80% completion rate. We still have some bells and whistles that we plan to bring to you, and some things that are being built out. So in the event you happen to get to a menu, especially behind the member login section that isn't showing live yet, to come soon, that is part of the reason. But if you are able to kind of see my cursor in the upper right-hand corner of our screen, you'll see on the very top ribbon there where it says Contact, Member Login, and Items. And so as I move over, you can see items there that actually will show if you had anything for the store, you can view your card, or you can actually click on it and go to items that you could purchase, and Holly will go over the store later. And then there's the Member Login section, which will have some items that are particularly interesting for those of you that might be members of SIPA. I'll let Holly go into that one as well. But what I'd like to do is just give you a little bit of history and background behind the new website. We launched a new philosophy of the way we wanted to talk about structural insulated panels, incorporating a bit more information around health, wellness, durability, sustainability, environmental consciousness. And so you'll start to see that vocabulary woven through all the site. We've gone from about 400 pages down to, I think, about 90 pages. So we've tried to make it a little more condensed, a little more user-friendly. And in the red ribbon, where you see the various drop-down menus, if I can take your attention to the upper right-hand corner, you'll see actually some curated screens for design professionals, for builders, as well as owner-operators. And so in the event that people are coming to the site for the first time and they're not sure where to go, hopefully they'll click on those, and you'll be able to, say for design professional, click on the design professional information and actually see why progressive builders or architects are choosing SIPs, how to get started with the kind of 1, 2, 3 there in the middle, a little bit about information that we thought might be pertinent to a design professional, thermal performance with SIPs, sustainability with SIPs, with some linkages to various background information, structural capabilities, net zero energy, and lead examples of projects, as well as education. And then always in the left-hand corner, there are a bunch of hyperlinks where people can hyperlink or to jump to various other areas of interest that might be particularly pertinent to them. And then there's a different screen for builders where there's kind of a new set of information really discussing why builders should use SIPs, why they may want to approach it, how to get started, really focusing on the SIP's ability for labor savings, as well as audiences that they may be building for. Also a bit about their legacy of how they'll be known as a sustainable builder if they choose products like structural insulated panels. And then kind of the famous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, how to get started with SIPs, as well as a variety of the different linkages that you see on the left-hand column. And then lastly, the information that owners and operators and homeowners and people that are going to be living and working in these structures might want to do. So why a choosy owner might want to choose SIPs, as well as how to get started, and then some more consumer-friendly information about how is it going to be to live and experience in a SIP structure. So consuming less energy, saving energy, breathing easily, helping the planet, comparing costs, and then also some information around various designs. So these 3 links in the upper right-hand corner here are kind of the guidance for a curated hand-holding visit for any of our people coming to the Structural Insulated Panel Association site. At any time, if you want to go back to the homepage, you can always click on the big SIPA logo at the top. And then other elements in the red ribbon here to the left under what are SIPs, SIPs projects, find experts, news, and resources. These are a variety of the information buckets that we found were most utilized on our last website. And so, for example, what are SIPs is typically Google's most searched item, and it brings probably, 50% of the people to the sips.org website. We're receiving, just so you get a notion of traffic, some 90,000 page views per month, with some 16,000 people visiting per month, visitors, as well as on average, they're staying 3 to 4 minutes each and downloading a variety of information. So from this drop-down screen, there's a nice overview about what are SIPs, and it helps people really understand a little bit about them. There's a video animation of SIPs going up, benefits of building with SIPs. And we like to touch on, key aspects, things like healthier indoor air quality, sustainability, credentials, faster construction with less labor, design, and flexibility. And many of these widgets that you'll see on many of the other pages here on the right-hand column will hyperlink you directly to, if you want to build a particular project and ask someone from SIPA to contact you, there's the tell us about your project page. And these are what generate the leads for all of our SIPA member companies, whether it's a design professional, building, or someone that wants to buy, they'll go to those. And these leads are available for you all as members to follow up with. And Holly will go over that particular route and explanation for you. And then if they want to hop right to projects, they certainly can, and then find suppliers and then download free various information. So those are always available for most of the screens, as well as you'll see in this right-hand corner, the recent blogs. So whether you're finding those blogs from the various pages or going up to the red ribbon here and finding in the news section blog and newsletter content. And Holly may touch on a bit of those later as well. But then under what are SIPs, we have our frequently asked questions, which is the most downloaded document in all of the SIPA website. They're written out here individually, so you can see like questions like what are SIPs? How much faster can I build with SIPs? How much money can I save? As well as linkages to various themes from these. But there's also a downloadable version of this, the SIPs question and answer. And if someone were to click on that hyperlink there, it would actually pop up a little menu item that asks people to identify themselves, who they are, so we'll know who's downloading information and can share that back with you. They also get included on our newsletter, but that'll only happen once per session. And if you have a cookie on your computer, it won't ask you in the future because it knows who you are. But you can see here the digital download of the structural slated panel frequently asked questions, or FAQs as we call them. Holly will touch a little bit more about the store and those downloads later, but just under the what are SIPs, so there's certainly obvious downloads here with great information about the superior R value of SIPs, SIPs in the real world, thermal bridging, photography around how you can see short circuits through 2x4s and things like that based on the framing factor. Other information around health and sustainability. So really trying to encourage people to learn about the earth-friendly, human-friendly green side of structural insulated panels, as you can see there. Then we have some cost information around SIP cost versus stick framing, as well as linkages to some prior studies that have been done around that. And then just generic information about SIPA as a trade association, our mission, our vision, our bylaws, our various members, and then a bunch of different industry links to other trade associations and organizations with which SIPA interacts with. And also you can get to the board of directors, pictures and all that. And then if someone wants to join SIPA, they can find out how to do it right here. One of the items that isn't quite yet done is our automatic member subscription and payment service. So you notice the last line here on the page, it actually says, hey, if you want to join, please go ahead and call our colleague on the phone, Donald Ambrose, or send him an email, and he will send you the paper snail mail version until we get the new version built up and running on our website. And that should hopefully be at the end of this month, June. Forgetting what month I'm on. Then under SIPS projects, I'll touch on this real quickly, and then I'll transition over to Holly, and she can take you through the rest of the site. But one of the things we're really excited about on the projects is we're slowly going back and reloading all the Building Excellence Awards winners back through 2010, even back to 2005. So if you wanted to look at them by state, you can, and you can see how many projects are listed with multiple pictures and usually a 3 or 4 page PowerPoint or a PDF behind each project. You could say, for example, select on California, and then you'd get a map that illustrates where the different projects are. If you click on each of the little dots, it'll tell you what those dots are, or you can actually see them down below. But if you did click on, say, View Project, it would come up, and you'll see a variety of pictures and information that's available. If this various performance information has been provided, it will show it there. For example, the HERS rating, whether it won an award or something like that. And then there will be some other photos here at the bottom, as well as the PDF information that goes behind that. For example, if you wanted to just look at residential projects, you certainly could. And this is one of the things I really wanted to hone in on. Over here in the right-hand column, you have some search features. And so you can search all the projects by type, say for homes above or below 3,000 square feet, if it's multifamily, if it's tiny. But more importantly, if you know a keyword, you can search on that specifically. You can certainly choose from any of our SIP manufacturers if you just wanted to look at that. Any of the certification awards that these programs have won. So for example, if you wanted to see just LEED Platinum homes or any of the Building Excellence Awards homes, you can certainly do that. But what we're really proud of is we're the nation's only database where you can search by HERS rating number. So the home energy score, so if you only wanted to see HERS rating scores below 40, you could search on that and they'll pop up. Or you could even say, hey, I only want to see projects that have a blower door test, less than 2, and you can search on that. And you can combine the searches for HERS ratings and blower door testing. So a variety of really nice information here. And then, of course, there's always the availability to search by country or internationally. So I think with that in mind, I'm going to click on the logo there, go back to the homepage, hand it over to Holly. So she'll unmute herself and then share her screen. So that way she can be driving and fill in the rest about our experts and some of our news and resources, and then some of the member interaction with the new website. So Holly, take it away, and I'll go ahead and mute myself.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning from Tacoma. Good afternoon on the East Coast. I am going to start where Jack started, up here at the top ribbon, where we have contact, member login, and kind of a short channel to the store. I'm going to click on contact. You're going to see our very generic web form where people can send in queries, not or questions, not necessarily a lead, but if they had a very simple question about SIP construct or something more complex, they can send that to us here. The second option here is member login. And I would encourage you, if you are on sips.org, to go ahead and log in. And I'm going to walk through the different options here. So I'm already logged in and it'll default to leads once you're in your profile. And what you see here is a consolidated list of all of the leads, not just the ones that you've built preferences for. So you might see something on the East Coast, even though you're just a builder on the West Coast. And regarding your preferences, if you scroll down to the bottom of leads and select notification settings, this will open up the different filtering options for the leads that you receive emails on. So you have construction type, you have client description, and then you have geographic location. You can go ahead and select these. If you're in there now, feel free to update them. Not all of the lead preferences migrated over from the old sips.org. So be sure to come in here and just make sure that yours are accurate. And if you have any questions, you can ask me, okay? And so if we exit the leads or that section, I'm going to go ahead and click on, let's do this lead here. And you're going to see quite a bit of information, pretty much everything that this client entered into the web form for the lead, you're going to see here, as well as the pages that this individual visited before they submitted their web form. Okay, that's kind of a handy tool just to see what sparked their interest, what channel led them to submitting that lead. But you do have the contact information, names, and then of course the lead in its entirety. All right, so moving down the list from leads is member profile. And this is a section that's still under construction. Quite a bit of the SIPA account section is under construction, but member profile, you'll be able to make some updates to what's seen on the public side. But for right now, if you see something you'd like changed, just go ahead and email me. And committee area is where you're going to see any of the minutes or forms from the committees that you partake in. You'll be able to see that right here. And the Building Excellence Award forms is also in this section. And throughout the year, you are going to be able to come here to the web form, submitting your projects, and you'll be able to submit them, throughout the year rather than shuffling through at the end.
And Holly, if I may, just to mention there, formerly people have traditionally sent in the form manually, the PDF form, but you'll be able to also just upload it directly into the website and upload your photos here as opposed to fill out that interactive PDF form. So it'll actually be a little bit easier. So I just wanted to say the form as well as the electronic update will be available the old way and the new way.
Okay. And these last three tabs are pretty straightforward, but if you ever wanted to update your contact email, so where your leads are sent, if your name changes or your time zone changes, of course, password updates, you can do that right here. All right. And I will pause. Does anyone have questions about this section of the website? No? Okay. I'm going to.
I got one question.
Yes.
When did you say the the awards winners previous will be uploaded. Did Jack say, he said something about that. I don't know if they're on now or they're coming soon.
They're on a rolling basis right now, so you will find some. Let me divert a little. I'm going to go to residential, and one of the filtering options is by the Building Excellence Awards. So I'm not sure if you followed that. For SIP projects, I went to residential, and then on the right-hand side, I filtered by the Building Excellence Award. I'm going to press search, and you're gonna see a long list of the BEA winner, or excuse me, Building Excellence Award winners in the past. But you can further, filter the search based on what you're looking for.
And Holly, I believe up to now, and we have Louise on the line, Louis, who works with us loading these in. We've loaded certainly back into 2017, I think on the 300 projects that are there. And Louise is actually working 2017, 16, 15, 14. So I'd say probably by the end of June, maybe middle of July, we'll at least have, say, the last 8 years worth of winners. And we're going to go all the winners all the way back to, since we've been doing this in 2005. And then we'll start loading in the submissions that didn't win, but were submitted. And that way we get about 40 of them a year. And so it will really help that map fill out.
Right. Okay. So this is where I wanted to segue anyways. But from the home screen, you'll go to SIP projects if you wanted to look at a specific project, and you can right off the bat isolate your search based on what kind of project it is. But if you wanted to look by state, there's that first option. And let's say we want to look at North Dakota. Well, okay, and so you're going to get a map view of all of the projects that we have in North Dakota, with the exception of those that still are pending upload. But you can, like Jack demonstrated, you can click on the little icons here, then select View Project Further. This is also a great way to navigate to our members. So you can see that this was manufactured by Intercept. And let's go back to that map. But okay. If you wanted to get out of North Dakota and say, let's see, Colorado, the list of states is going to stay on the right-hand side. And I just want to mention, that's only when you're in the projects by state dropdown. If you do end up going to agricultural, you will have the kind of the wider filtering options, which are the HERS rating, manufacturer, and we'll go to a manufacturer. Let's do Fisher Sips. Not sure they have any agricultural projects. Let's go to residential. And okay, and so you'll see a list of residential projects done by Fisher Sips here. So I'm going to move over to the member directory now. That's the third drop-down option, Find Experts. And this is also kind of a quick way to enter your project information. So this is how we acquire leads. Tell us about your project. And then below that, you can buy, design, build, SIPA affiliates, and then there's the wide member directory. I'm going to click on member directory. Now there are going to be some tweaks to how navigation works in this section, but it defaults to a state list for you. And then over here on the side, you'll see carrots, and you can select, well, okay, I would like a builder. And so you get a list of all of our members that are builders. And you want to further isolate it, you're going to have to actually exit the member directory. So what I want to do is go instead to, okay, I'd like a builder. So I select Build SIPs. And then down here, I'd like them to be in the United States, and I want them in Georgia. Let's search. So here we are, 2 builders in Georgia. And you can adjust your settings here. Well, I don't want just a builder, I also want a manufacturer. So we're going to select manufacturing regional sales managers as well as our manufacturing members. And here we are. All right, so I'm going to go into one of these profiles. Let's select Acme at the top here. You're going to notice member profiles have a carousel at the top. It revolves with 3 photos. And well, this one just has the one. And then there's the bio, the copy about the member profile. And if they had any affiliating projects here at the bottom, this is where they would show. Let's go to here we go. So artisan SIP plans, you're going to see these 2 pictures here at the bottom. And you have all the contact information here on the right-hand side.
And Holly, this is kind of a call out to all of you on the lines. If you have additional projects or you want additional text that's in your profiles, this is where you can contact us to say it. You'll see this particular company hasn't really sent anything to be in there. We do have their logo, but if you have some descriptive text that you'd like, that's what you can send to us and we'll upload this for you. Holly, you may choose another company like say Premier or someone that has a more text in there under biceps maybe.
Biceps. And
maybe by company, you can just choose Premier.
I'm sorry?
Maybe search member name Premier. Yeah.
Whoops, lost you. Okay, so here we are. And here are the projects at the bottom associated with them.
So you can see there's a much more robust member directory. So all of you that are interested in showcasing your companies in a different way can make these more robust. These other photos, featured projects up to now are any project that has won the Building Excellence Award automatically gets loaded into this. But if you have another featured project that you would like to show for your company, you can give it to us and we'll load it in, and that way it would show here as well.
Right. And I also wanted to point out here on the right-hand side in this member's profile, they have a number of sales areas. So if you do have a secondary sales region that you work in and you want to add that, give us a call, let us know. But all of the contact information for those individuals managing that area is listed here on the side. Okay. Are there any questions about the member profiles or the directory itself?
And Holly, just as a FYI on timing, we probably want to start wrapping it up to stay in our 30-minute window here.
Okay. All right. So the last little feature I'm going to show under the dropdown, the resource dropdown under store, this is where you're going to find the archives of our resources, materials, some of the training materials, but it's going to default to the store, which is just six options, options for purchase. So these are items like up here, the Builder's Guide to SIPs, the print version, or that there's a digital version, or of course we can send you these materials printed out for a small cost. But here on the left-hand side, free resources, I'm going to click all digital publications. This is where you find the FAQs about SIPs, do's and don'ts, SIP connection details, and these are the most frequently downloaded materials that we have on the site. And of course, they're rolling out. We have the best practices series for designers. Right now there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, but as you scroll down, you see there's quite a list of helpful items and materials. So as Jack mentioned, the first time that you click download in the day during your session, it's going to request this information. But once you have that cookie during your session and on your computer, you won't have to put your information in each time. So that was all I wanted to cover. we can move into questions.
And real quickly, just to make the last comment on the resource section, I wanted to just bring attention to everybody. In the event you as users, certainly if you want to have under resources information on design, many of the various studies and things and resources are there, but more importantly, under say sustainability studies, the life cycle analyses, different things like that, those are all there available for you as well. And then even going down to technical research, this is where you'll find the technical bulletins, as well as a lot of the different test reports that have been done with industry and laboratory tests, things like that nature, all the various linkages to the building codes for the various members. And one thing that I think makes a lot of sense for some of you is overcoming objections with SIPs or selling SIPs. And so there's 14 small little video snippets that are here from anywhere from a minute to a minute and a half on. So someone says, oh, I can't use SIPs because of price. Well, we have a video for that. Oh, I can't use SIPs because they're not strong enough with fire. We got a little video for that. Or, oh, you know, they're too tight. Number 14, we have a video for that. Additionally, there's some studies from the real estate industry on appraisals and valuations of SIP structures or high performance structures. So those may also be of interest to you as well. So I just wanted to point those out. And as Holly mentioned, if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask us questions live. It's a small group on the phone, so we can easily take your questions live as opposed to having to put them in the chat box.
Is the website live right now?
It is. It has been live since the 6th of March. And the reason why we went ahead and rushed it out is because there were some deficiencies as far as the mobile tablet and phone functionality on the old website. And about 30% of our traffic comes from mobile interactivity. And so we wanted to be able to bring that channel back. So hopefully you'll stick with us here for the next few weeks until we get all the back end office resources available back to you. But we thought as far as the front facing portions of the site, they're available. And even on the homepage, you know, these large buckets where people can click on these, they get you the same space to the same spot as these curated visits up at the top. And the ABCs of SIPs, as we like to say, are mentioned here. Reasons to install, better for all, and care for the long haul. Any other questions?
Yeah. Hey, Jack, can you hear me?
Yeah, thank you.
This is Dan Troth. I see you building today's lumber market. You have that. As of today in June, what do you hear when somebody says to you, how do you compare to stick building in terms of pricing right now? How do they compare? What's the latest answer?
Yeah, so, you know, we as a trade association try not to put numbers into everybody's individual routes to market, because that's a little bit of a slippery slope. But in general, what you'll see here on the particular blog is that dimensional lumber, you know, 2x4s had gone up as much as, you know, 240% or something, while adding about $34,000 to average cost of a home. And that data is here in the blog. We talk a little bit about framing factor and the fact that the framing factor for SIPs are so much less, there's a lot less wood, and that OSB, while it did go up maybe 60%, it didn't go up as much as 2x4. And so what we're saying nowadays is SIPs are more or less on cost parity with conventional construction. And with that, SIPs build better, you're tighter, better, more energy efficient envelope, and you're saving all that speed. So now more than ever, SIPs are a great option for people to explore as far as panelized construction. Some member manufacturers like to say we're the same cost, some say we're a little less, some say we're still a little bit more, but the speed saves you. So everybody has a little bit of a different value proposition that they portray. So we've tried to be very careful and not back anyone into a corner, since we have a wide swath of membership here. But the overall message is that SIPs have never been cheaper than they have been now compared to traditional lumber. And while traditional construction went up 34%, we're saying SIPs construction went up maybe 16%. And $34,000 is what I meant to say, traditional construction, whereas SIP construction maybe went up only about $16,000. So
Okay.
that extra money you can put towards your pocket for cost parity.
Okay, let me just add too, boy, I love the new website. You've done a fabulous job. So kudos to all you people who worked to put it together.
Appreciate the
agree.
feedback
I
there.
agree. It's a really, looks good. Looks good. How long
Thank
ago
you.
did the development of the new website start?
Well, we thought it was going to be done last summer, and then COVID hit, and then the web designer was having issues, and we got into the fall, and we thought, okay, we'll get it done by Christmas, and then at the end we decided, let's just rewrite everything and update it much more overhaul than we thought, and because of all the writing, it wound up taking us a good 9 months. And
Oh,
about
in total, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
In total, wow. That's
and we're probably at this point, about $25,000 into the website refresh.
right.
So all in all, when of course that's staff time to write all the information and to load it, but I'm pleased with the result as well. Thank you. And if you have any glitches that you find, any ideas, we're going to constantly be improving it and adjusting around the edges. Additionally, if you have any links that used to go to the old site that worked and maybe they're broken, let us know and we'll make sure to correct those. Since the site was completely rebuilt, all the links are almost new. And so we know there's going to be some broken ones out there. If you linked to our site from your site in the past, there could be some issues there. So we want to make sure we don't leave anybody with that.
I think this it's a small webinar, but I think the idea of a webinar to launch the website is an excellent idea. I kind of think people who haven't joined it are just missing out because they're not getting informed. But would SIPA, I don't know, has SIPA been authoring or suggesting general webinars? Instead of bigger conferences every year, smaller webinars kind of authored by SIPA through the year, monthly, quarterly, something like that.
Yeah, and that's really where we want to get to. Right now, currently on YouTube, we have all of our videos on YouTube for people to serve up on demand. But as far as the live interactive conversations, we do plan to start that quarterly now that we have the new website launched. We have been doing some of them through our industry partners. So for example, in May, the National Association of Home Builders had the Building Systems Council webinar around SIPs, wooden SIPs versus steel SIPs in May with the Building Systems Council. There were about 200 members or 200 people watching that one. We also have done 2 with EBA, the Energy and Efficient Building Alliance, but we plan to actually start now having some official SIPA ones, but we were just trying to get the website up and running so people had a great new beautiful website to come to and get all these lovely downloadable resources. So what you'll probably start to see is in the 3rd quarter, we're going to do them quarterly. And then if there's sufficient demand and interest and volunteers to conduct them from our members, we'll definitely do them more frequently. We could even go to a monthly option if people have the interest.
Under resources, is there a calendar of events or something like that?
Yes, it's actually going to be under news. So right now it just says news, but
Okay.
we endeavor that one to say news and events. And
Okay.
that's where you'll have information around our upcoming webinars as well as the annual meeting. So I'll make a plug for the SIPA annual meeting, any of those that typically come to it. It is next year, the last day of February 2022, and then the first 2 days of March in Orlando, Florida, for those of you that have attended those in the past. We will be also at the International Builder Show in Orlando in February. So there will be a booth on the floor as well as a presence in the Learning Lounge with the Building Systems Council.
Hey, Jack, another question. Can you hear me? And Holly?
Yes.
I'm wondering, just in terms of search engine optimization, what SIPA does, what efforts it makes to increase visibility of SIPs when someone, typically a homeowner, they type in green builder for my area. or something
Uh-huh.
like that? And how often will SIPs come up? With
For example, if you were to type, Gary, I just put there, or excuse me, Dan, I just typed in there, what is the SIP? And you'll see SIP comes up. If it's not an advertisement, typically SIPA is one of the first ones that comes up. As far as Green Builder, let's see, Green Builders, that's a really highly searched item.
Right.
So it's a little bit difficult. What we have done with this new website is we've keyed in a lot of the metadata, the keyword search terms, things like that, to make the site be one of the first ones that often comes up. Like where can I buy SIPs, SIP panels? Let's see what happens. Here you're going to actually see the paid for advertisements come first because they're paying. But then once you get out of the paid, you start to kind of see individual companies. What we try to do is try and dominate the what are questions. And that way we can get more traffic to SIPA. But as you were saying, the member directories are really a key functionality for people to be able to make sure that you have as much of your profile filled out. Additionally, we have many links from our other trade associations. So for example, we've been putting all of the manufacturing members on several of the other websites, whether it's the Zero Energy Project website, the EBA website, as well as the Building Alliance website. So we have some other aggregator sites that are feeding in to the SIPA manufacturing members. We haven't done so much with the design members, but if there's interest in that, we can certainly try to promote that further as well. Holly, I know you're the queen of search engine optimization and our on-staff millennial and digital native. So maybe you can answer some of that question too.
Yeah, I just wanted to expand on as far as from browser or like Google and Bing, what are SIPs? The question is the #1 question that lands them on our page. So it doesn't even bring them to our home page. If Jack were to select the overview under what are SIPs, that's actually where more than 50% of our traffic lands originally. Yep, so that first option right there. And like Jack mentioned, yes, if you click on our option, that first, yep, there we go. This is where about 50% of our traffic starts. And then I'd say the other 40% starts on our homepage, and then it kind of trickles down from there. But really keying in those keywords to the pages: sustainability, energy efficient builds, building smarter, building tighter. Those are the kind of things that we put into the pages to really attract the traffic from Google.
So like this one, are SIPs sustainable?
Mm-hmm.
It comes right to the SIPs website. Yep. And actually pulls up this little iconic image showing why we use half the embodied carbon energy per year as, say, a regular one. And that was from the life cycle analysis that was done.
Good question.
Those questions, the more that we can actually get our frequently asked questions indexed in here. So if you have other questions that when you search and SIPs don't come up, let us know, and we can actually add that into our website as a frequently asked question. And then when people type it in, because we have such an authoritative site with so much traffic and linkages to other authoritative sites, most likely it'll be answered from our website. So if you find stuff, let us know. It's, as they say, it takes a village, so to speak. Well, this is great. Well, thank you so much for your time and the feedback. This will be, as I mentioned, we'll post the link to this website video on via YouTube, and you'll get to it also from our sips.org. But thanks for your input. Don't be shy. Feel free to reach out to us via emails with suggestions, with any problems, or any even good examples of you see from competitor projects, or even new ideas. And we're always looking for great information for our blogs and our newsletters that come out every 2 weeks. So the newsletter currently goes out to about 70,000 industry stakeholders every 2 weeks. And the newsletter is also, just so you know, available, the past newsletters on the website, so you can see them curated here. And then you can also sign up and subscribe to the newsletter if you aren't getting it. And with that in mind, thank you for your questions. And we look forward to hearing more from you all in the future. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you very much. This was great.
Bye.
It was great.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
All right, Jack, did you need me to stay
Well,
on?
Holly, bravo.
Yeah.
Everything, I think, went well there. Let's see. I didn't look at the chat. Let's see, were there? Yes, there were some.
I threw some stuff in there. I'm still here.
Oh, great, great. I was just looking. Thank you for your kind comments, Gary.
Yeah, I was.
Is there anything? I turned off the video, so
Sure.
or the recording. So if you have other questions, feel free to stay on with us.
I think there is an opportunity, because SIP structures tend to have simpler geometric roofs, right? That's a typical thing. You don't see SIPs